All right, y'all. We back in here, and wow, I wasn't planning on posting another video today, but we just saw an incredible game. Liverpool 3, Newcastle 2 at St. James's Park. This game was always going to come in with a lot of tension with the Alexander Isak situation, and the fact that these two teams are just both just really good. Um, uh, wow, that ending, I'm still reeling off of that. But you know, Newcastle came out like a house on fire. They were booing, the fans were booing Liverpool's every touch to start the game. Newcastle's players had so much energy. They dominated the game for the first 30 minutes. Anthony Gordon should have had a couple. Oh, I don't want to say should have, but had a couple really good chances. He had that header that went over the bar, and then that cross from Elanga that Sozoblai got in the way of. I thought, we'll get onto it, but before his red card, he was playing really well, as was Elanga. They were catching Liverpool on the break, and these are the types of games. I mean, so far through first 2 weeks, this was probably the best game of those first 2 weeks. I know there might have been a couple dull moments, but for the most part, it was an exciting watch. There were chances on both sides. But all in all, I thought Newcastle were done harshly in this game by the result. They deserved the win, in my opinion. Getting on to the goals, I mean, Gravenberch's goal really was against the run of play. It was a really good strike to the near post. Caught Nick Pope wrong-footed. He kind of was surprised by the shot, and soon after, Anthony Gordon gets that red, which was so stupid. I didn't think there was any reason to dive in there to try to block Van Dijk's, I guess, over the top pass is what he meant. I mean, it's not like Liverpool were pinned in that situation, and maybe getting a foot in front of it pins them even further into a throw-in or something like that. But they were approaching the halfway pitch with the ball, with possession, and Anthony Gordon does something like that. He's kind of prone to those types of things. He's a little bit of a hothead, with his actions. Obviously, I don't know him personally, but he just. After that, I thought Liverpool were going to just take over the game, and the rest of the game was going to be flat, and Liverpool were going to not necessarily cruise, but I certainly thought with a man down, just Newcastle wouldn't have been able to keep up their energy, and then to come out, within a minute of the second half beginning, Ekitike gets his goal off of, I think it was a Gakpo block shot, and then he gets the rebound, funny, and lays it off to Ekitike, who has shown so far that he's an incredible signing, and maybe they don't necessarily need Isak. Maybe they could address some other holes that they might have in their team, but it was a good finish, and 2-0, I thought it was over. I missed that goal. I just wasn't back at halftime. I just didn't sit to watch the second half yet. And so, from then on, I thought it was over with. Obviously that wasn't the case. Newcastle this is the type of team they are. Physical, with a lot of energy. They press well. Obviously well coached by Eddie Howe, but they just were in it the whole game. That Bruno G goal, I guess long throws are becoming a bit of a meta again. I don't know. We've seen it in multiple games this weekend in the Prem that teams have been using this strategy, and Bruno G fights for that ball on the, I think it was cleared actually, and then a cross came in that Bruno G got on the end of and beat Kirkes to, who wasn't very good today. Again, We'll get on to that. But after that, you know, the pressure is piling on. The energy from the crowd is maintained. And Liverpool, I don't know what it is through 2 weeks. They weren't able to gain much control in this game. They seem like a bit of a basketball team almost, where, you know, they'll get their chance and then immediately another team will come and counter them. And they haven't, through 2 games, haven't had much control over both matches. Well, I guess they had control in that second half against Bournemouth last week, but you know, dominating a game they haven't done to this point, admittedly playing 2 solid teams, top half caliber teams, one of them being Newcastle, who have European aspirations in terms of finishing in the European places. We'll see about European competition, but that, you know, Osula goal, I think like 87th minute, 88th minute, something like that, that was always coming. It seemed like lofted ball, another set piece. You see how important set pieces are becoming, or not are becoming, but how important they are. Obviously, that lofted ball was meant for Dan Burn to knock onto. I actually think he missed it and it hit Konate, maybe like grazed him in the back, but definitely kept Osula onside. I was afraid he was going to be offside after that, but it was a good finish from him. And, you know, from there, I thought it was, if anybody was going to get the winner, Newcastle would. And they had a couple corners. You know, you see Bruno G hyping the crowd up, which he does. A couple scuffles and all of that. And then come, I think, the 100th minute or something like that, the kid Rio, who I guess was in Chelsea's academy and just saw a better pathway to the first team with Liverpool, which, I mean, fair enough. He was in the first team doing what he did and getting onto that goal. It was a great finish. I thought, like, he had time to stop, to trap the ball and then pick a spot, but he was like, I don't need it, and just one timed it, curled it into the bottom corner. I do want to say special shout out to Szoboszlai. I mean, Salah is going to get the assist for that goal, but if anybody deserves an assist or like a stat for that, it's Szoboszlai. I mean, that dummy was incredible. Completely took the right back out of the game. I think I don't remember who it was, but it just left Rio wide open and free. And I think that was his debut as well. 16 years old. Apparently, his birthday is like the day of the game or the day after. I'm not sure, but what an incredible dream debut. It's always nice to see a kid like that, you know, fulfill his dream in that way, even if he does nothing else for the club. I mean, having that moment is, it's probably surreal. I've never had that feeling on a pitch, obviously, but what an incredible finish to the game. I like going into next week. Liverpool have Arsenal. I would like to think that they are favorites in that game, especially at Anfield, especially with Bukayo Saka out and Odegaard out. Although I spoke about this in my last video, I think Arsenal are low-key a little bit decently equipped to handle that. Those 2 losses for, you know, a shorter period. So we'll see. But they do have a couple holes still. I mean, I've mentioned before, Gravenberch is really the only holding defensive midfielder that Arne Slot trusts. So we'll see how that progresses. And then fullbacks through 2 games. At left back, he started Kirkes both times. Admittedly, he had, I think, Elanga, who had a really good game, and his speed is incredible. He left Kirkes in the dust a couple times. I can remember that cross to Anthony Gordon in the first half, where he just blew by Kirkes, and then in the second half, chasing a long ball when they were down 10 men on the right hand side. His speed is incredible. But Kirkes, I mean, he's had a shaky 2 games. To be fair to him, Elanga and Semenyo of Bournemouth are 2 challenges it's no easy picnic. And then at right back, I mean, Arne Slot has tried Endo, Joe Gomez there last week to come on as a sub. Bradley, I guess, I don't know if he's injured or what his situation is, but he came on as a sub today as well. Szoboszlai, I guess, is going to be the right back for now. He's their first choice with Frimpong out. I know he got hurt last week. We'll see how long he's out for. So they have a couple holes already. I thought Bradley would have been ready to deputize at the very least in a reliable way at right back, but I guess not. Szoboszlai is kind of taking that role. And then to be fair, it helps them. He can invert as well into midfield and help control games that way. So we'll see. I do want to mention Newcastle. Like now, Anthony Gordon is straight red. I think it's a 3-game suspension or a multiple-game suspension at the very least for that. And then Joe Linton and Tonali both taken off injured. Fabian Schär later in the game got concussed, was taken off for Malik Chow, I think is how you pronounce it, the guy they got from AC Milan. But Newcastle already lack a little depth to begin with. They obviously have a glaring hole at striker caused by their opponents today, adding insult to injury. Especially now with Anthony Gordon out, we'll see if they trust Osula to start, if they can get Wissa over the line by the end of the transfer window, or if some other solution, maybe Nico Jackson from Chelsea. I kind of mention him every game for any striker in any team at this point. Not because I don't like him as a player, just he seems like he's potentially on his way out. Rumors of Bayern Munich today trying to secure that for them. But in any case, back to Newcastle. It's a good thing they have an international break coming. I know they won't have Anthony Gordon coming back from the international break, but they'll hopefully only miss Joe Linton and Tonali. If they have to miss next week, they're back after that first international break. Jacob Ramsey, I think without him, what are they going to do next week? It would have to be a midfield of Bruno G, Jacob Ramsey, and Lewis Miley, I imagine. Maybe Lewis Hall can do a job in midfield. I mean, I think he may have came up as a midfielder at Chelsea. I don't know, but I know that he is probably comfortable enough to play there if needed. But yeah, Jacob Murphy can come in at right wing, and maybe Harvey Barnes plays as a 9 if they don't trust Osula, and Elanga on the left. I don't know. We'll see. They seem to have like 15, 16 reliable players. Newcastle, I think with Champions League football, it's kind of crazy that they've kind of left it to the last minute and haven't been able to get a lot of signings over the line. They've been gazumped for more than a couple players. Their star striker is obviously star striker on strike. I mean, he's not looking to come back to the club at all. So we'll see if they can get it together by the end of the transfer window, and then have a refreshed squad coming out of the international break. But next week is probably going to be a struggle for them. I'm not sure who they play. I think I'm just going to look that up real quick. Newcastle schedule. I think they have Wolves coming out of the international break, but next week they have Leeds. So two teams who, in my opinion, are projected to finish in the bottom 5. Leeds, I think, even though they didn't look good against Arsenal, I still think they're a bit of a threat on the break. So we'll see how they cope with that. But yeah, incredible game of the season through 2 weeks, in my opinion. A lot of energy from both sides, a couple scuffles. I really enjoyed this game, and hopefully, moving forward. That reverse fixture, by the way, at Anfield, I kind of wish this game was like the stadiums that were played in were in reverse. This one at Anfield and the next one at Newcastle, because if Isak really does go to Liverpool, I'm curious to see how his reception by the crowd, that the crowd gives him as a visitor. If he does make that move, we'll have to wait till next season to see it. But unless they match up in the League Cup or the FA Cup, but that another interesting subplot to look forward to the future. But in any case, those were my thoughts on the game. I appreciate y'all for watching. Short one today. I know I wasn't planning on posting anything today actually, but this game was just too good not to speak about. So appreciate y'all for watching. We'll see y'all next time.